Hi property people, and welcome to Property Insight. Inquiries on secondary land houses have been relatively stable since the third quarter of 2022. In the post-pandemic era, rental inquiries performing robustly. Both segments recorded a slightly different trend, as we can see right here. Prior to the pandemic, sale inquiries on land houses in the fourth quarter of 2019 dropped for 23.6%. With the pandemic occurring, the inquiries decreased to minus 18.7% and further to minus 10% in the first and second quarters of 2020. As opposed to sale, the rent inquiries have enjoyed a consistent increment since the second quarter of 2019. It recorded a drought for minus 21.4% in the second quarter of 2020 due to the pandemic with a social restrictions policy that's set by the government. However, with the second wave of the pandemic reoccurring, in the third quarter of 2021, there was a minus 18.3% and minus 45.3% decrease for house rental and sale, respectively. With strong macroeconomic conditions and the revoke of the social restrictions, both inquiries continuously increasing. As we can see from the graph in the first quarter of 2022, the number was rising for 20.7% and 18.6% for rental and sale inquiries, respectively. We recognize another drop that recorded in the second quarter of 2022, which occurred during the Eid Mubarak holiday, also when the financial decisions were mostly focused on the event and some individuals withheld their decisions either to purchase or rent. In the first quarter of 2023, demand for both house rent and sales increased for extensive numbers, which are 20% and 15.1% respectively. So this is a great chance for investors since we can conclude that the demand for housing is still even growing in the future. And next we are going to see the graph of the proportion for house rent and sale. We can see right here that there was a significant shift trend in rent inquiries, especially in the post-pandemic era. Overall, rent inquiries grew consistently than sale inquiries since the first quarter of 2021, and by the first quarter of 2023, the rent proportion was recorded at 42.3%, increasing significantly compared to the first quarter of 2019, which only recorded at 25.5%. Property people, in terms of the land house trend, our platform have identified more detailed information on the rent and sale inquiries. And especially for you, we are going to show the top 5 cities based on the inquiries, price preference, and also the median supply in our listings. As we can see right here on the graph, that based on the total inquiries, Tangerang recorded the highest proportion for 16%, with many notable and large-scale developments within the area. The area serves as a satellite city for Jakarta. Many developments in the area were established in the 90s, but they only began to gain popularity since 2010 until today. Cities in DKI Jakarta also recorded the highest inquiries back in 2022, led by Jakarta Selatan on the second position after Tangerang with the proportion of 10.1%, Jakarta Barat at 9.8%, and Jakarta Timur at 6%. Despite higher prices being offered in general, Jakarta still attracts potential buyers, usually those with higher buying power who are seeking for convenient living in the city center. Not only Tangerang and DKI Jakarta, but also Bandung is on the top list with a proportion of 10%. And now let us see the price segment from the total inquiries within our platform. We can see the beautifully colorful graph right here that we identify in Tangerang land houses with a price range of 1 to 3 billion rupiah contributed the highest proportion of 41.5%. As we undoubtedly heard that Tangerang is an established area with certain notable township development, it also offers comprehensive facilities with good infrastructure and accessibilities. And for that very reason, Tangerang attracts more middle and middle upper buyers who mostly originated from Jakarta Barat and Jakarta Utara. Demand in Jakarta Barat is driven by houses with a price range of 1 to 3 billion rupiah, contributing 54%, which indicates buyers' profile for this area are middle to upper class. And for Jakarta Timur, it is slightly different compared to either Jakarta Selatan or Jakarta Barat. The demand is driven by the lower class market segment, although most preferred price ranges from 1 to 3 billion rupiah for 41.7%. The price range of 400 million rupiah to 1 billion rupiah is recorded as quite high as well, with a proportion of 31.3%. With this, we can conclude that although they are located within DKI Jakarta, the preferences are more similar to the Tangerang area. And last but not least, for Bandung, although it is located outside Jabodetabek area, the market is currently driven mainly by the middle-low to middle-class segment, with price ranges from below 400 million rupiah, contributing for 39.2%. And now we are showing you the median selling price within our platform. We can see that with the graph right here, Jakarta Selatan offers the highest median selling price of 3.5 billion rupiah, followed by Jakarta Barat for 2.6 billion rupiah. Tangerang recorded a median price of 1.9 billion rupiah, which is quite similar to Jakarta Timur, which recorded at 2 billion rupiah. And for Bandung, despite its lower price preference, the median price has been recorded from our listings at 1.8 billion rupiah. And thus, this indicates that there is still a major gap between the buyer's preference and the market's availability. That's on the trend and preference of the sale market in popular cities. Is it the same with the rental market? Let's find out. We can see that on the graph right here. First of all, let's see the top 5 cities for rental houses right on this graph. We can identify that Tangerang contributed the highest demand of 18.1%, followed by Jakarta Barat at 11.8%, Jakarta Selatan at 10.3%, Bandung at 7.7%, and Badung at 6.3%. The reason why Badung made it to the list is because of the remote working applied by companies globally due to the pandemic. A new trend called digital nomad emerged and has been benefiting the demand in Bali. People from across the world come to Bali to live and work while also enjoying the tourism activities. Furthermore, it has been reflected in the inquiries toward rental properties, including rental houses. Back in October 2022, the government also released a second home visa policy for long-term stay up to 10 years in Bali. And based on the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy, in 2022, the total number of international visitors in Bali have reached and recorded at 2.2 million. While in 2021, there were only 43 people. The number surge was also caused by the lockdown policy applied globally. High demand in Badung are also correlated with the preference of these digital nomads who usually reside in the Canggu area. Now we are going to see the inquiries for rental houses based on the price range. Here we have for you another colorful graph, and we can see that there is a similarity among Tangerang, Jakarta Barat, and Bandung, all which the highest proportion for rental price preferences are below 50 million rupiah, followed by a price range of 50 million rupiah to 100 million rupiah. Meanwhile, Jakarta Selatan and Badung show a similarity of both locations being popular among expatriates. We can see the preferences are relatively higher compared to other areas. Within these areas right here, the demand mostly comes from rental houses with the price range of 100 million rupiah to 500 million rupiah per annum, which also contributes to 45.9% for Jakarta Selatan and 45.4% for Badung. This indicates that the demand from expats in Jakarta Selatan usually comes from the finance and service industries, which are known to have higher accommodation budgets. And we can see right here on a different graph that in terms of median rental prices, Jakarta Selatan has the highest price, which is recorded at 368 million rupiah per annum, or is equivalent to 31 million rupiah per month, followed by Badung in Bali, which has a median price of 155 million rupiah per annum, or is also equivalent to 13 million per month. Jakarta Barat and Bandung have the same rental prices of 65 million rupiah per annum, or 5 million rupiah per month. Although the highest preference for rental houses were at the price below 50 million rupiah per annum. The lowest median prices for rental houses in Tangerang were recorded at 50 million rupiah per annum, or equivalent to 4 million rupiah per month. Property people, we can understand that each of the areas has its own target market, meaning different preferences and median prices. Then how about the potential return for investors who are planning to invest in land houses? And which is better to invest, land houses or apartments? Let's find out right now. But firstly, let's have a minute to see how the potential yield for the secondary land house investments are based on the listings in our platform. We can see right here on the graph that generally speaking, cities which are popular among expats have recorded a higher yield compared to other areas. Jakarta Selatan can gain potential return for 3.6%, while Badung was possible to generate a higher yield of 4.9% on average. The yield of land houses investment is relatively lower than that of apartments, which is ranging from 6% to 8%. Even though the total demand for rental houses is significantly higher than rental apartments, in terms of proportion, in 2022, Enquiries' proportion of rental houses were recorded at 83.6%, while for rental apartments is at 16.4%. This indicates easier absorption by the market. Property people, finally it is time to compare between land houses and apartment investment. We try to compare apartments and land houses in 3 of the top 5 cities mentioned, based on the recorded data in the past year. The cities are Tangerang, Jakarta Selatan, and Jakarta Barat, as we can see right here. Now let's dig deep into it. First of all, let's see how the sale price preference for both apartments and land houses. Interestingly, the markets in Tangerang and Jakarta Barat both prefer lower prices on apartments. In Tangerang, however, apartments below 400 million rupiah are the most sought after. A higher percentage is recorded on land houses with higher pricing, which is 1 to 3 billion rupiah. Unlike them, composition in Jakarta Selatan is relatively similar. Secondly, we tried to identify the price preference for rental properties, both apartments and land houses, as this following graph presents. Although the price preference on land house sales is generally higher than that on apartments, the rental price preference for both properties are relatively similar. We can also notice that in Jakarta Barat and Tangerang, the market prefers rental price of below 50 million rupiah. And for Jakarta Selatan, as the market pool is mostly dominated by expats and people with higher buying power, it shows that the rental price from 100 to 500 million rupiah per annum is indeed the highest one. The percentage for apartment is at 52.6% and 45.9% for land houses. Property people, to have more details on the apartment trends, subscribe and watch our episodes Property Insight only on our YouTube channel, Rumah 123. And now let's check on the median price recorded on this graph right here. Generally speaking, the median selling price for land houses is definitely higher. The price gap of apartment sales compared to land house sales in Tangerang and Jakarta Barat are more significant, which are at 139.6% and 119.8% respectively. Meanwhile, in Jakarta Selatan, the price gap is recorded at 21.5%. Despite land houses offering higher price in sales, both properties have a similar rental price, especially in Tangerang and Jakarta Barat. Rental prices for apartments in Tangerang is 50 million rupiah per annum, and for land houses is at 45.3 million rupiah per annum. Meanwhile, Jakarta Barat is at 65 million rupiah per annum and 64.4 million rupiah per annum, respectively. In Jakarta Selatan, rental prices on land houses are 63.2% higher than that on apartments. Property people, research, and insightful information are essential when it comes to earning maximum profit from your property investment. With that in mind, we provide you with a more credible research and in-depth insight in property business. Only for you, because Rumah 123 selalu ada buat kamu. I'm Karina Basraywan, and this is Property Insight. See you in the next episode.